real quick. I put glitter in one of our Harry Potter beers, the Patronus beer. Right? I mean, Patronus.
Naturally.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him. Like, until I was doing it. And he's like, what's this? I'm like, it's Patronus. It's sparkling. He's like, he was counting the days. He's like, you did one, 8 months ago. I said, it's year by year. So, like, we're in 2024.
Yeah.
So I did one in 2023. I go, I won't do one for the rest of 2024. I go, it's not a rolling. It's
Yeah, it's not a rolling
year.
12 months.
Yeah, come
it's
on.
once per year.
like, you can't just make up new rules.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hot Break Craft Beercast. We are here on site at Kitsune Brewing with Tyler. We have a really, really cool episode coming. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce the Brew Crew. With me, as always, producing today is Christy.
Hello.
Christy, thank you again so much for producing. It makes it so much easier on the back end when we get these things posted, so we appreciate that. And as always, JB, who's always along for the adventure.
What's up, guys?
Check out his channel, Vexet, on YouTube. He's got a number of different things in the works. You've actually posted a lot of cool art stuff recently,
Thank
too.
you.
So
I've
and
been
done some
focusing on art.
and done some live stream stuff too.
For sure.
It's been very cool. So no, we appreciate it. So before we get into the episode today, we're going to talk about food trucks. We're going to talk about seltzer secrets, sort of. We can't really reveal a whole lot, but we got some good stuff coming up. So let's roll the intro.
Completely unscripted, delightfully unfiltered, and 100% fun. Sit back, relax, and get ready to have a great time as they bring you the latest in beer news, Ben brewing updates, and general shenanigans. And now, your hosts, the famed Brew Crew.
No, we appreciate it. We walked in first thing this morning, and they were brewing. We could smell the hops and the malt and just all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that smells nice.
Yeah, we're brewing Forager this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's we do that a lot.
Well, that's that's kind of your state. Is that the most popular one that you do? Is that the one you sell the most of?
Yeah, so that's the one. So we kind of focus our distribution on. We're really heavy in tap handle distribution, so kegs.
Okay.
And so one of the things that we focus on is kind of being more strategic and direct with how we distribute. So the two beers that we mainly distribute are Forager and Kitsune Light. Obviously, we brew other stuff here. We can other stuff. We keg other stuff.
Yeah.
But the consistent, like a lot of our other stuff is rotating. Forager and Kitsune Light, if they're not on tap, we either had some crazy, distribution thing,
Yeah.
or it's in the tank and we're just waiting for it to come back.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
those are our biggest sellers to begin with, and that's why we chose those two.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also Fox Diver Brown is another one that we kind of slide in there every once in a while too, because that's just a great one.
The Kitsune Light, that wasn't one of the original. You had a lager at launch.
Yes,
it was like
so-
jasmine rice.
Yes. So Kitsune Light unfortunately came out of a necessity. We used to brew a beer called Shua Shua, which was our original jasmine rice lager.
Okay.
We
Okay.
got it.
Yeah.
We got the rice from the specialty rice maker, or the specialty rice. I don't want to call it manufacturer, but they used a puff jasmine rice, and that company went out of business.
Oh.
So we had to switch suppliers. And that rice was so unique, so specific that even so, when we got the new rice, I will never forget. JJ wasn't here. I went to the tasting port and I tried it, and I said, "Fuck." And I called him. I said, "Hey, I got good news and bad news." I was like, "What do you want first?" He's like, "Bad news." I said, "This is not Shua Shua." I said, "The good news is it's freaking incredible."
Okay.
I said,
Okay.
"But there's going to be people who love the funkiness of the jasmine, the earthiness of the jasmine.
Yeah.
That this rice is just a little
It's
bit
not going
more
to satisfy that. Yeah. Okay.
cleaner." But come to find out, when I was talking with our distributor, like we were one of 3 breweries in the country that was ordering this rice, and so that's why they stopped doing it,
Wow.
because it was a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but I really dug it because it tasted like one of the micro beers, light rice lagers in Japan that I had. Ours is now more kind of closer to like an Asahi or a Kirin or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
But-
Well, that's actually a good point. So you're when you originally launched, which was 2.5 years ago, so you originally were brewing out of Simple Machine.
Yep.
Right. How did that whole thing come about? Like, why did you decide to jump into brewing? What was the flash of genius moment?
So I had always been homebrewing.
Yes.
So I've been homebrewing forever. The original homebrew story I always tell is that we went to a barbecue at one of my parents' friend's house, and he had all these beers in a cooler, and none of them had labels on them.
Yeah.
Like if any homebrewer knows, that's exactly what that looks
right.
like.
Yeah.
And I remember grabbing one, and it was this like raspberry wheat beer. And I opened it up, like, oh, this is fantastic. I'm like, what's the label? Like, what is this? He's like, I made it. I said, bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, you can't just make beer, like, at your house. He's like, yeah, come by next week. I'm brewing next week. So I came by. And I was at U of A, so I drove back up. And I came by to brew with them. And I was like, this is kind of cool. So I went back down to Tucson. I went to Brew Your Own Brew.
Yes.
I bought a kit. And then the next week, I was brewing. My fiance, now wife at the time, I will never forget, she walked into the house when I was, mashing it and stuff, and she was like, this is disgusting. This smells
What are you doing to my kitchen?
And I remember I got like 46 bottles out of my first batch. And like looking back now, like I gave these out to everybody, but looking back now, that beer was terrible. But it was mine.
And that's what makes it delicious. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think all of us as home brewers, my first kit, my wife bought me a Mr. Beer kit.
Oh, nice.
It was some amber lager, 6-pack plastic bottles.
Yep.
Awful. I thought it was the best thing I'd ever had.
And I feel like you
Had the
have
plastic
to have
screw
that
tops and
so that you keep going.
Yes.
Right? Like you have to almost trick yourself
Yeah.
into saying this is better than I can get at the store. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it probably isn't.
Yeah, it was a little questionable. Yeah.
And then from there, I just kind of incrementally just started doing more.
Yeah.
Doing more.
Yeah.
And
Did you start out all grain or did you start extract?
No, I started with extract.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and I think-
like a normal person.
Like a normal person,
I hear
yes.
people that start straight into all grain, and I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I always tell people extract is you have salt, pepper, and garlic powder. That's extract. You can do a lot with salt, pepper, garlic powder. All grain is you have every seasoning in the cupboard,
Known
right?
to man, yeah.
But I'm not going to give you every seasoning for your first time you're cooking. Like
Right.
let's get the cook down right.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get there's so
Exactly.
many other things that you have to learn before you add all those flavors into it.
Exactly.
And then from there, just incrementally, just started growing like my knowledge base of it all. Finally, went up to all grain, and when I went to all grain, I did the biggest leap. I went to straight SS BrewTech, like electric system,
stainless.
Like, I was like, let's go. Like, if we're
Yeah.
gonna do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And that was when I was living in Oregon.
Okay.
So I decided to do that. And then when I'll never forget, I made what the basis of what Forager is,
Right, which is what they're drinking
which
today.
is what they're drinking right now.
Yeah.
And I brought, at that point I was canning now. So now I'm buying like everything. So like I even had my own home canner.
You had
like,
the
this
canner?
is 2016.
Oh,
and like
my
I bought
gosh.
the first SL1 from Oktoberfest when they came out the
Yes.
homebrew canner. And I brought a can up to my, some cans up to my brother who lived in Seattle. And it's my older brother. He is brutally honest with me to a fault sometimes. I love him, but he's so honest. And I said, hey, Justin, try this. He opens it up. I go, be honest with me. He goes, I always am. He goes, this is better than 85% of the things that I could buy in the store right now.
Wow.
That's good.
I go,
Oh,
I go,
that's
coming
high
from you,
praise.
that's like,
Yeah.
anyone else, this is better than anything in the store. And that was like, oh, I think I have something here. So like the next 6 brews I did, Forager.
Yeah.
Just over and over and over and over again, just to dial it in,
Yes.
learning new things. I had some friends who opened up a little brewery in Portland called Great Notion.
Okay.
And they're the ones, Paul was one of the guys who helped me understand different adjuncts and stuff and get mouthfeel and white wheat and to minimize my grain bills and stuff like that. And so one of my favorite beers of all time is Juice Box from those guys up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted the mouthfeel Juice Box, and I feel like
You've accomplished that. Yeah. Yeah.
And so when we moved back to Arizona, so we were living in Portland, we had my second daughter, we decided to move back to Arizona. And I was traveling a lot for Nike, and I decided, hey, I had my second daughter at that time, and I was like, I don't want to travel too much. So I actually got a job at PetSmart,
Okay.
doing the same thing, retail operations for PetSmart. And like a week before the truck was supposed to come to move us, I looked at my wife, and I was like, I don't want to do this. She's like, you're burnt out. She's like, why do you think you're not going to be burnt out there? I go, you're right.
Yeah.
So I called PetSmart, and I was like, I'm not taking the job. I am now officially blacklisted at PetSmart.
Oh.
Hopefully they reset their systems one day in case this doesn't work out. No, but and then when I moved back, I was like, I'm going to create a brewery. And then a buddy of mine owns a payroll company, and they were working with Simple Machine. And he said, "Oh, there's a new brewery opening up. I live in Cave Creek. He's like kind of up on our side of town. He's like, you should reach out to Marshall, see if you can learn some stuff."
Yeah.
And that was I reached out to Marshall. It was Black History Month, and we decided to do Black is Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah.
And the rest was history.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit it off. And one of the things that made my contract brewing work so well was I actually purchased 2 tanks. So I purchased a 5-barrel and a 3-barrel tank not to impede on their production. So it was much easier for him to say yes, knowing that, hey, I don't need 3 weeks worth of your time.
Right.
I need 12 hours worth of your time, and
Yeah.
I can put my own stuff in my
Well,
own
and
tank.
anything goes wrong, you want to let it sit a little bit longer. You're not holding it up his production line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing
huge.
too. And so that was a really big thing. So whenever people come to talk to me about contracting, I always say you either need to be with an extremely large brewery who just has all the space in the world.
Yeah.
If you're going with a smaller brewery, which when you're contracting, you're new. Like, you don't need 60 barrels of your beer. Like, I'm testing recipes out. I needed 3-5 barrels of my beer. And that was the best way that I could have done it. So I brought some things in.
They did it under Marshall's license.
Yeah,
and so
so-
they would serve it, they would have it on tap.
Yeah.
You were also self-distributing, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I was
Later on, maybe?
So I wasn't self-distributing. Simple Machine was
Simple Machine,
self-distributing.
excuse
So
me,
basically
okay.
what it's like, so when you're contracting, basically what's happening is it's Simple Machine's beer.
Right.
It's just a brand of Simple Machine's beer. So like Marshall and them do this Hop Bandit series. So basically, it was a Kitsune series. Like, you kind of look at it like that. So it's just hey, these are Kitsune series beers. Like, on the tag, it still said brewed and bottled by Simple Machine.
Yeah.
But I would do the footwork in order to get the beer out of there. Towards the end, he was just buying it all because the symbiotic relationship was just so good. People would come for my beer, stay for his, and vice versa. So
nice.
It worked out really well towards the
Nice.
end. Which was great on my gas mileage because I wasn't having to drive all around Arizona.
Yeah.
And it was awesome for him to just be like, yeah, I'll take it. If I can sell it here, I'll sell it here. And that was a no-brainer
That's
for both
great.
of us, which was really cool.
Wow.
I think I remember the first time we tried your beer. It was actually, you had founded, I think it was like Craft Beer Hop Stop, or one of the ones, I can't remember if it was the one off of 7th and
It's
Union.
the one
or,
off of 7th and Union Hills.
Yeah.
Yep, that'd be a quick stop.
Quick Stop. Yep.
Yeah.
And we were really impressed, but I remember it was like kind of exciting because we had never experienced your beer before.
Yeah.
There wasn't this
Freaking
place
hard
to
to
do
find,
it.
too.
Yeah.
Because we made so little.
Yeah. It was you got to be on the wait list. You got to go in and do they have it? There's one. Okay,
There's
great.
one. Have it, yeah.
Yeah, we had
Run.
like one can. I
Yeah.
think that we shared it. And we was like,
yeah.
oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
There was a few batches that I personally only got a 4-pack of. Like because I would pre-sell a lot of it, and then what would happen is that you'd realize, oh crap, the yield wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Gotcha.
And I'd be like, okay, hey Marshall, instead of this case, you're getting 5 4-packs instead of 6 because I want one. Because I oversold. I'm sorry. But thankfully, we don't have that issue
Yeah.
anymore. I could get.
So you're contract brewing and you guys are sharing the space, and it was a good symbiotic relationship. And then what were you were always intending to open up your own space? This was a way for you to transition into that?
Yeah. So the other thing with when you're doing small scale contract brewing, the idea also is that you need to look at it as marketing and not as like. There was no chance that the quantity of beer that we were making and selling was going to make a financial footprint that catapults you into making a spot.
Right.
You need to do large batch in order to get your margins where they need to be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So the whole idea was always to open up a spot. And so the idea was we're going to use this as a marketing tool so people kind of get our name. And that way when we do launch, we already have a base.
There's brand recognition.
Yeah, there's already
They
brand
know,
recognition.
they're excited for you to be in the neighborhood. They've already had your beers.
Yep.
They know you can brew.
Exactly.
Kind of lines everything up versus busting into a market where no one knows who you are. You're just another craft beer stop
Right.
that's
You
opened
barely
up.
walk in here when you opened.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
I also feel like you have, by building that brand, a lot of desirable merch, and the logo, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
attracts
agree.
people. So it's not just like, a label on a can. There's merchandise involved in that too, where
Yeah.
people want the fox, it's become the symbol.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
yeah.
No, it's really neat. And that's the other thing I always share with people. Like, you got to, you got to look at it. It's a long game.
Right.
You know, we started this in 2020 with Marshall and those cats over there, and so to be now in 2025, like, yeah, we've been in the game for 5 years, but like the first 2 was just really just hitting the pavement with very minimal product to make sure that we had something that we could actually sell once we opened.
Right. Yeah.
My friend was excited because he's like, hey, there's this guy I went to the same high school with, and Miko, and he's all like, yeah, he's brewing beer at Marshall's because we used to live really close to that area.
Yeah.
And he was really excited and just couldn't talk enough about your beer.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
JB basically knows everyone, so
You went to PD, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tyler
that's
knows
right.
everybody.
Yeah, no. If I recall, you went to high school with my brother.
Your sister.
My sister, okay,
Yeah,
my sister.
we graduated the same class because she was valedictorian.
She was something, I don't remember what
She was pretty smart.
She was
Or is pretty smart.
She was okay.
okay. No,
Yeah,
my sister's
she was all
great. I
right.
love her.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, JB, don't get it kicked out of here.
Yeah. I haven't spoken to my sister in years.
Oh, we were supposed to ask, is there anything that we can't talk about? I'm just kidding.
My sister.
No,
JB, that's the
people-
third time you've gotten us thrown out.
She actually worked at my sister and brother's daycare.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably.
So
She
it's
loves
a-
kids.
so,
She's a
like-
nurse now. Yeah, I don't know.
So how do you come up with some of your cool recipes?
So what's really cool about it, and I think if you ask any homebrewer brewer who's been doing it for a while, I never thought I would be able to get a sense of flavor from knowing the malts. So like when throwing malts at a board and knowing, you know, the percentages and what they bring to the table, you always hope you get there.
Well, and the flavor changes throughout the entire process. So if you taste
does.
it crushed versus after the mass versus after the boil versus and after fermentation, like
Right.
it changes so much all the way through.
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you mean. Like, how could I ever understand what these things do and what the final flavor impact will be? Yeah.
And so what's cool about it now is that like we say, okay, like we're always studying, we're always learning, we're always looking at things. We're always calling friends. Like I'll call Brandon of Richter. He was just, I believe, on your show with
Yes,
you
he
guys.
was. That was a fun episode.
You know, we're talking about, hey, I'm thinking about using this new malt. Have you used it before? What kind of flavors to get out of it, et cetera, et cetera. But what's neat about it is we'll look at, just kind of no different than anyone else. We'll say, hey, we don't have a lager on. And we'll say, okay, what types of cool lagers are out there that maybe we've never made before? And we start looking at flavor profiles, and we start looking at how do we want to do it? What flavors do we want to showcase and accentuate and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And then from there, we just, like, you kind of just cross your fingers and hope at a certain point. Like, we all have math equations. Like, I know what the ABV is going to be when it's done. I know what the
Right.
color is going to be when it's done.
Right.
But we just did a really cool beer with Goldwater.
Okay.
We did a rice cold IPA. I'd never had them before. Chad and Sean over there had never had them before. But we're like, we like rice lagers.
Yeah.
We like IPAs. Let's see if we can marry the two and see what comes out of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's done it before, but like this was the first time we had ever done it. And it came out really cool. And it came out better than we had hoped. And we knew that we were going to get some rice flavors. We knew we were going to get hot flavors. But we didn't know how beautiful that marriage was going to be. And it came out
Right.
really cool. And I think they're actually going to brew it again. They sold out of it in like a week.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they have
Wow.
3 locations. So, I mean, they can spread it. But, I mean, still, any beer you can sell in a week, like,
That's
we might
amazing.
have to do it again.
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
I think
maybe. Yeah, maybe. Oh, for sure. Definitely.
But that's how, you know, it's really, you know, we do some funky, cool sours here. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling, like, especially when we're dealing with flavors outside of grain and hops, it really is a roll of the dice on what's
Yeah.
coming out, you
Yeah.
know? And there have been times where it comes out perfectly. We have our biggest sour we do is called Bantha Milk. It's our baby blue.
Yes, the blue one.
blue raspberry
Yes.
sour. Every time I make that beer, it is the biggest headache in the world. Not just because I'm lactose intolerant. No, but
I feel your pain.
yeah, but we have to get the flavors right. And then there's other beers, like we have a beer that we made one holiday season called Dirty Snowflake. That beer was supposed to be a white beer with green and red glitter in it. And it was edible glitter, like, let me
Right.
be clear.
So you did a glitter beer.
I did a glitter beer, and JJ, I'm only allowed to do one a year now.
Is it messy?
It's not only messy.
You can't
it
get that
stays
shit
in
out
our
of your beer lines, yeah.
Oh my, he had to
Really?
wash our lines like 15 times,
like a-
with scalding hot water.
It's like a
the glitter
stripper
out.
convention came
Yeah,
through.
it's
Oh my
wild.
god.
But like the glitter, so it was supposed to be called Elf Fart.
That's even better.
But what happened was the color of the glitter ran.
Oh no.
So the green and the red glitter mixed with the
brown?
it turned gray.
Okay.
So it looked like dirty snow from like Michigan, Chicago, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, this is dirty snowflake, and everyone loved it. And to me, I'm like, fuck, this is the worst. Like, what have we done?
Yeah.
And that seems to happen all the time. Like when you screw up,
Yeah.
you're like, we're gonna tell it anyway. Everyone's like, oh, that was so great. You can do it again. I'm like, I don't know how to do it again.
Yeah, right. That was a happy or unhappy accident. Yeah.
But I mean, because we were talking to Brandon about this too. But so like a beer like Forager, though, you've pretty much nailed it. So do you just consistently brew that the same way? Like, do you stick to the recipe, or are you
always
constantly
tweaking it?
tweaking?
No, we're always tweaking.
Yeah.
There are so many incredible breweries out there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people that I probably talked to is Rob Coate from Tombstone, and he's always on what I would consider like the cutting edge of knowledge on what's going on in the brew world. And so we'll talk to him and be like, hey, how are you using hops now? Like, when are you dry hopping? What does your whirlpool look like, et cetera, et cetera. He's always willing to talk and never hides anything. He's
Share.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Share,
Yeah.
And so when you have these breweries out here that are doing such amazing things and they're coming out with these incredible flavors, and you're like, I know you have the same equipment I do. Like,
Yeah.
you're doing something. You're doing something really cool. If you're willing to share it, like, no, we'll tweak. Like, so, for example, Forager used to have all of these hop additions throughout. Now it only has one. Forager, we used to dry hop it at a certain point. Now like towards the end of fermentation or when fermentation is completely done. Now we changed our dry hopping schedule, during the whole thing. So there's a lot of like the foundation of what Forager is always there, but maybe the mouthfeel is softer now. Maybe the way the hops kind of come through are a little bit better now. So, eventually, if we decide to do mass distribution, yes, we're gonna have to be like, okay,
Lock it
we
in.
gotta
You got to
stop.
lock it down.
We gotta stop.
Yeah.
Stop playing with it.
Folks, Jason over at the shop, a good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
If you don't know church music, you've been living under a rock.
Right.
And so, for example, like church music from 5 years ago is not the church music of today.
Yeah.
Because you have to evolve, and especially when you're doing those types of volumes, you can't do the same things you've always done. So, is the essence of church music still there? Absolutely. But like talking with Jason, saying, hey, they have to turn church music out a ton, and so for us, it's like, how do you get Forager from 30 days in fermentation to 15 to 20?
Yeah.
And there are things that you can do, with scheduling that help get that in, and having those partners in the industry is just
to continue to help improve
it's
and
just
speed up, make it more efficient, utilize ingredients better.
yes.
Well, and especially with ingredients, I mean, then that stuff changes from season to season,
Oh, my
from
goodness, yeah.
crop to crop, and so even if you're not improving or tweaking the recipe, you're still having to tweak it just based on what's available and what's
Sure.
out there.
Well, yeah, alpha acids alone. Like, so alpha acids every year change. And so even that little tiny thing, like, we have to adjust. It might not be, huge percentage points, but we still have to look at, this one took a pound last year. This year it needs a pound and a half.
Yeah.
It matters.
You're always having to tweak that kind of stuff. So, Christy had mentioned about your logo, the fox, the
Yeah.
Kitsune, and I know that it's your inspiration for the Kitsune and what you're doing here came from a trip that you had taken. Is that
Several trips.
trips?
Yeah, so my other brother used to play professional basketball over in Japan.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he played in a prefecture called Niigata. And he couldn't make it to my wedding, so my wedding gift was he flew me out to Japan. I was like, okay, fine.
I'll let it go this time.
Whatever, I guess I'll go. My wife was in residency, so she couldn't go. So solo trip to Japan, oh my goodness.
Stop.
Yeah, and so when he had practice, I would literally just walk around. Like I would just
explore.
I got lost probably a dozen times while I was out there, and I ended up at an Inari shrine. We have, I don't know if your cameras can see it, but for people who don't know, the torii gates are usually the entrances to the Inari shrines.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible. I'm not a religious person by any means, but it was just a really incredible experience. The peace, the calming, everything that just kind of came over me during that time was really neat. And I started kind of researching, like, what is this? And this is like for the new, the Japanese New Year. This is where they go to pray for the next year's harvest and community. And, the community comes out like
in mass all
like,
together
during this times. Like,
wow.
The Kitsune is the intermediary between the god Inari and the people. So like that's where you put your prayers to and stuff like that. And the Kitsune is the one that's supposed to bring it to the god.
Okay.
And it's also the protector of the shrine.
The shrine.
And so the idea was, as we kind of talked earlier, the high school I went to is right up the road. I did not go far after leaving that. And this area where we live has changed a ton over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Up and down, ebbs and flows. And so my whole thing was I want to build a place for the community. And then the Kitsune as our logo is the guardian of what we built here for the community.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, and so it was, and what was really cool about it is bringing a chunk of that to North Phoenix, showing people, hey, this is a space for everybody. This is a space for everybody. Come here, feel safe. Come here for your greatest moments in your life. And so maybe we've had people who have lost people, and after funerals, they've been like, I want to go to Kitsune because I want to smile.
Yeah. Right.
Or people who are having 40th birthday parties. We've had baby showers here. We've had, and that's what we've always wanted.
Yeah.
We've always wanted whatever part of your life you're at, we want to celebrate with you
and be a part of it.
Yeah, be a part of it. And I really truly believe that we've built that here, and we're continuing to build it.
Yes. What about kind of future plans for the brand, or what are you expanding into?
So we actually are expanding next door. And we will be hopefully...
Will it be through those torii gates?
It was supposed to be. That was why the original torii gate was built there, because we were supposed to be able to cut the hole. Like, the hole actually already exists on the other side.
Oh, no.
And it was supposed to go to the ramen restaurant.
Okay.
We are now going on the other side, but what's cool about that is that we will be able to put a patio in the breezeway that's over there.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So we'll have this indoor-outdoor bar concept that'll be over there, so you can bring pups in to sit on the patio and do all that jazz too. But yeah, I really wanted that.
That would have been so cool.
We did get a shot of that, so we can show it.
Yeah, we'll show a lot of the spaces stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's so funny because the hole already exists over there, and
Wow.
I'm sure. So someone just took over the suite recently, and I'm sure they're like, "Why the hell is there
a
like,
hole here?
like a framed hole
Yeah.
on the other side of this wall?" Well, we were gonna use it, okay?
That's funny. That's really funny.
So do you have an estimated time for that? Are
My
you still
hope is
talking
end of the
about
year.
it? End of this year.
End of this year.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I'll be
Okay.
there.
Yeah, it's we're doing ramen. So I always say we want to be the In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A of ramen, not fast food, but like we do tonkatsu, we do vegan. We have these things. We're not gonna have sushi. We're not gonna have yakitori. We're not gonna have these things. But what we do
Really
my
well.
hope is better
Yes.
than anyone else.
Right.
Yes.
Right? You don't go to In-N-Out and ask for a chicken sandwich. And
Yeah.
and that's fine. And people have come to be okay with that, right?
Yes.
So not everything needs a 45-page Cheesecake Factory menu. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So my hope is that people recognize the quality and care. Our broth takes 3 days to make. We're going to be making noodles from scratch every day. It's going to be a really cool experience, and I'm excited for people to try it.
Christy's dad has a ramen noodle place.
Oh, nice. Where at?
Tempe, off of University. It's called Yatai.
Yatai.
It started out as a food truck, and then they opened a restaurant. So
I'm going to have to try that out.
yeah. But he does mostly like just a quick thing, ramen, tonkatsu. He does have takoyaki, but
Oh, I love takoyaki.
otherwise his menu's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I'm so stoked to just have quality ramen on this side of town
Yeah.
because like honestly I feel like all the good Asian spots are more on
on
the
that
East
side,
Valley
yeah.
or
East, yes.
Yes.
My favorite spot is origami ramen. I have to go to Awatuki. I don't have time to go to Awatuki.
exactly.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But what's really cool that so now you saying that now I'm gonna geek out a little bit because now you know ramen. Like on Sundays we're doing a breakfast skimmin ramen from our tonkatsu throughout the week.
Yeah.
And I created this really cool breakfast sausage chashu that we'll put on the skimmin. It's gonna be really cool, and I'm really excited.
Okay, you're gonna have to
When
educate
are you
me
doing this?
because
So that'll be every Sunday we'll do a brunch. So
Okay.
skimmin is a very concentrated broth
okay.
that comes usually is in about an 8-ounce container out separately of your noodles, and you dip your noodles in it to eat it.
Oh.
So
okay.
you have like a bowl with your noodles, the
Yep.
sausage chashu that I'm going to be doing, maybe the soft boiled egg, and you dip your noodles and
Yep.
you eat it that way
Oh,
because
wow.
the broth is so rich.
So
and
rich.
Thick.
Oh, I
you
almost-
couldn't do a whole bowl of it. Like,
Yeah, I almost prefer that sometimes. It's a nice change,
Yeah.
but like it's just so concentrated. You get the flavor in it. It's so
Will
good.
you have
yeah.
that this Sunday?
No,
no.
this is when we open. I
Yeah.
wish.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay,
might have it
sorry.
Sunday at my home. But
Well, thank you for inviting us. We'll be right over. You've got
but
nothing going on this weekend, right?
yeah, I have Tomadachi on
Tomadachi Beer
Saturday and
Fest.
skimming on Sunday. But it's cool because I love that you asked, well, what is that? So many people don't know what that is,
Right.
and it's such an incredible dish. And the only thing we're changing is how much we boil it down and concentrate it. But when you have such a beautiful base to do that with, the flavors are just really, they're glorious.
I went to Christy's dad's noodle shop, and I had never had the ramen like that before. It was an unbelievable experience,
Yeah.
and just especially with the soft-boiled egg, and there's just so much, and the broth is so rich. Like,
Yeah.
it's something that if you haven't experienced it, you really don't understand.
Sure, yeah.
And so I understand when you had an experience, and you're wanting to kind of bring that and share
Yeah.
it. And so I haven't had what you're talking about, but I'm like, if it's anything like that,
So
Yeah.
I'm going to say one thing to
Oh.
anybody listening out there. If you tell me your favorite ramen place is Ramen Hood, that is like me telling you my favorite Mexican food restaurant is Chipotle.
Wait a minute.
What I'm saying is they both have their place, but neither one of them are doing the best version of it.
Exactly.
I had Chipotle twice last week. I get it. I love it.
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
That's hilarious.
But
Yeah.
there's such amazing ramen places. Utaka up the road here too is another great one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But no, we just hope to be part of the conversation. I don't need to be the best. I just want to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair, that's
know?
cool.
Yeah.
I think it's like kind of educating people on it too, like Brian was saying. I think if you've never been to Japan, most people think of ramen as like top ramen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree.
Or instant
yeah.
noodles.
You wet the
so-
noodles, you sprinkle the flavoring on
A
top,
little cupo noodle.
and you crunch through it. That's ramen,
but
right?
I put my chopsticks on the lid. Isn't that what they do? Yes, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so uncultured, unsophisticated. Yeah, no.
I can't wait to try the chashu that you're going to be making.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm so excited
That's one of my
about it.
favorite parts
The
of it.
regular chashu for the regular ramen shop, we braise it for like 8 hours.
Wow.
Then we vacuum seal it and chill it
Really?
overnight, and then we cut it real slim, and then we fire blast it before we bring it out to you on the bowl.
Okay.
So like everything has its stages, and everything matters, and that's the one
Right.
thing that's really exciting is that they care. I don't feel personally that I could put out bowls with the care I want to if I had 40 other things on the menu.
Right. No, exactly.
And so for me, it's like let's do this the best way we can. Every bowl that I put out will be like I said, I just want to be in the conversation, but I can tell you every bowl we put out is I put everything into that.
Right.
And we did a pop-up at Tombstone last year. I took over Tombstone's kitchen
Nice.
last year.
Huh.
We sold 50 tickets, sold out in like 25 minutes. It was
Wow.
incredible. So we took over their kitchen. We did ramen that night. And it was so cool to see people be like, I get it. Like the light goes off. They're drinking a Forager and they're having their ramen. They're like, this is what he's talking about. Because it sounds off to people sometimes.
Well,
but that's
New
not
England
how they eat.
IPA with a noodle, with the ramen.
Just one noodle.
Just one noodle. Yes. I put everything into this one noodle. We don't have a
Enjoy.
big menu.
That's like some 5-star restaurant nonsense. One noodle on a plate, like swirled
I
up,
have
like, enjoy.
deconstructed it.
Sir, this is just flour and water. make it at your table.
Some call it paper mache. We elevated it
We
up.
elevated it up.
That's awesome.
That's very exciting, though, and it's such an interesting twist on what a typical local pub, microbrewery, you're the brewery in your neighborhood that you always go to. You know the people. It's such a different take on that in a different direction.
Yeah.
I think that makes it kind of exciting. It's very new.
It is. So, like, when I would go to Japan, I used to stay in Ibisu Square. And there's two of my favorite places. One was this whiskey bar, tremendous.
Oh yes.
And then this other place was this little ramen shop. And they had bottles of, like, local Japanese beers. And I used to eat ramen and drink these beers. And I'm like, I'm eating a spicy bowl of ramen, drinking this. I'm like, why is no one doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
I go, and the thing, you can get beer at a Japanese restaurant, but like with us, we're going to have different flavoring oils that pair with the beers that we have. So you like a stout, we have an oil that if you're a stout drinker, like this is the oil you want to put on your tonkatsu for your stout. You like Forager, here's our spicy garlic oil that pairs really well with our Forager.
That's cool.
So it's this whole encompassing experience. We do sake bombs here. We're doing sake bombs with our own rice lager. Like the rice lager's made back there. Like that's super neat to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, and so for me, it's one of those things. It's like, how can we create? Like I said, what I want to create is third spaces, right? So how can we create these spaces that get people excited about what we're doing, and things that I haven't seen before? Doesn't mean they're not being done. So anyone out there calling me out, I personally haven't seen it.
Right.
And so it'll be neat in order to see like, oh, this is something special.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think coming in here, I feel like I get the vibe of being in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like once you open that up, it's going to also do that because I think it's the memories. And I don't know, it just instantly like reminds me of the best times, you know? And I think it's cool to expand and introduce that to other people as well that aren't able to go to the country, but maybe kind of get it in their mind that there's this whole other culture out there that they don't know
we were
about.
so the original idea for the ramen restaurant was gonna be like an izakaya type setting, like almost like, I don't want to call it a host club, but like to have like people that come to your table and play games with you and stuff like
okay.
that, like
Yeah,
the
that's
real
cool.
like. But then I'm like, the payroll on that's gonna be outrageous.
Yeah.
I'm like, but maybe that's a Friday night thing or something. But those are the things. So you know, when you go to Japan and you're working in Japan, the people you work with take you out. So you go to these places and they're so welcoming. They're so fun. There's laughter. There's drinking. There's food. It's all these things, and you're there for hours. And the next thing you know, 3 hours have gone by, and you're just like, oh my god, like that was such a wonderful time. When was the last time you spent 3 hours laughing at a restaurant and no one told you to leave? You know, like, we got to turn this table, you know? So, I don't know what's completely in store for us next door, but I know that there's a vibe and a feeling I want to convey. And that's the most important thing to me.
I think one of the things that we've talked about, especially with some of the breweries we've sat down, is, you know, there's a lot of really good beer available. There's a lot of really good breweries around.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
so just opening up an industrial space and slinging beers isn't enough to keep people coming back. You have to have some sort of a space where people identify it's their local, and it's an experience that they can only get at your place.
Yep.
I think that has really shifted in the craft beer industry to make it kind of a necessity, whether you're having family night, whether you're doing, like you talked about earlier, the rock, paper, scissors tournament, which was a huge hit. I mean, that's just something to bring people in and let them have an experience and have those memories, and, you know, doing the ramen shop and the activities. And I think that really sets you apart with what you're trying to do.
For sure.
And what's really cool is that you're not just doing it, you know, from we need to do something to bring people in here. It's kind of the opposite of that. It's, I want to share this.
Yep.
And I think that people will enjoy it, and that will kind of feed itself.
100%. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. And you know, a lot of the things that we do here, I'll be honest, I do them for selfish reasons. I thought rock, paper, scissors was funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I'm like, that's hilarious. I'm gonna, oh, this clown. He's not welcome.
That's awesome.
We need another mic.
We don't have one.
He can sit in mine.
We don't. Hey, what's up, Brandon?
How you doing, sir? What's up, buddy?
You look handsome.
I don't want to take his thunder. I know he's really quiet.
He's
It's like pulling
Brandon
teeth
Richter
with
is a
him.
habitual thunder stealer. That's what we call him. I love you. I love you, friend.
I know what you're doing.
I respect that.
Yeah, normally we have a drinking game when you show up when we're at a place.
So-
We do a drink.
You know-
so for him to show up today,
That's
I'm
huge.
like, that's a reversal.
So the funniest part about you saying that is, I swear there are running jokes in this industry that I just show up places. Yeah.
Actually is,
That all of
there
a
is.
sudden, like on a random Tuesday, Tyler pops in.
Yeah.
One of the managers over at the shop, she's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I come when I'm done." So like, I'm very particular with my time.
yeah.
And so you know, if I'm gonna linger somewhere, I'm lingering somewhere else. You know, I'm here all the time.
Right.
So I'll finish at 1. I'll be like, "Hey, yeah, I'll head to the west side." Richter, where are you? I'm at your door. You know, and I love that because I truly do believe that this is a community worth being a part of, And kind of what you were saying just earlier about the beer in Arizona, I think that there is a brewery in Arizona that is making the best style of any beer you can choose. There's at least one brewery in Arizona that's making the best style of any beer you could have. The beer isn't the problem. People are changing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we got to look at how do we get people back into our buildings, because good beer, unfortunately, doesn't
It's
just
not
cut
enough.
it anymore.
It's not
you
enough.
know, because we're all making good beer,
Right.
which is cool.
Yeah.
But Arizona isn't known as a beer place, so we gotta change that mentality a little bit. I am so excited to be part of this group of owners and this group of brewery proprietors, because I truly do believe that we're doing some great stuff out here.
Well, and you have a great, and we've talked about too, there's the area itself. There's a lot of good support among a lot of those craft brewers that to support each other and are, you know, you guys are popping in and out of each other's places.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I love that, and I've talked about this before. I love how you guys are still fighting over a very small piece of the pie, but you're not cutthroat.
No.
You're helping each other out. Because you're really in it together. It's just,
Right. I want to see everyone win.
yeah,
Here's
a rising tide raises all ships.
So we did a beer with the shop called Rising Tides.
Yeah.
Literally, that's the reason. And the thing about it is, we all have families. You know, we're all out here for the same reason. We're all
Right.
trying to provide. You know, and so who am I to think negatively about you when you're just trying to feed your kids, your
Right.
spouse, or
Right.
whatever it is?
You're
Like,
just trying to make it
no,
Yeah.
get out there and get it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I hope you feel the same way about me. Like, we're all out here trying to create the best product for the same reason.
Yeah.
To provide, and to create great experiences for our customers, right? So
Selfishly, yes.
so yeah. But at the end of the day, there's no reason to be cutthroat, at least in my head.
Right.
The idea is that, you know, people will succeed. People, you know, some places will close, and that always, you know, when places close, that hurts. That hurts the heart, you know.
Yeah.
But when people succeed, hell yeah, I'm cheering for you on the sideline.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because why not? Like,
Yeah.
why don't I want you to be great? Because you know what? I might call you and be like, great example. Goldwater did Hop Chowder Day.
Oh, yeah.
I happened to be there on a Saturday at Hop Chowder Day. Place was packed. They did 4 different variations of hop chowder. It was awesome.
Nice.
I literally text Chad sitting at the bar. I go, I'm doing this. I'm doing Forager Day. I go, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to put a pin on it, when we do the marketing and all this stuff, I'll tell everyone I stole it from you. And I go, and you want to also do? We'll do a collab for Forager Day. And we did. And he was like, hell yeah, do it. Like, that was, I mean, I wasn't doing it on the same day as his. Like, that'd be
Right.
kind of crappy.
Well, that's,
Right.
yeah.
But like,
Spread
like,
rumors
yeah,
so that
right.
no one
Like,
shows up there.
do you want to do it on Forager Day or Chowder Day?
Yeah. I hear he doesn't wash his hands. I wouldn't.
Oh, God.
No, but that was what was so cool. He was like, hell yeah, do it.
Yeah.
He's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I've had people reach out to me like with our sour. Oh, we're trying this with our sours. Like, what do you think? I'm like, hell yeah. Like,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the whole industry better. And then when you don't have just one place to go, there's other places that are, you know,
Right.
working together and not overlapping with some of this stuff.
Sure.
You get people that do make those trips and they do
Yeah.
the I want to call it bar hopping, but the
I love those Saturdays. When I
Oh,
found out
oh,
that
absolutely.
you went to 4 different breweries, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, heck yeah. I'm like, where are you going next?
yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know. Hit these places. If you're heading up north, hit these places up there, you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
or my favorite, and I see this constantly. Sorry, I keep hitting you.
That's fine.
I'm like, yeah, let's go.
You have much softer hands than her.
I've never worked a day in my life. No, there's nothing I love more than hearing, oh, I was down at Wren or I was down at Tombstone. They told me I had to come up here.
Yeah.
Or I get a call from, you know, Brandon and say, oh, he goes, those people you sent over actually came. It's like, heck yes. People do listen to us. They do want to hear our suggestions and stuff, and they do
Yeah.
take them to heart, and they actually go to them. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about it, and it sounds cheesy, but I think we all kind of got into craft beer because of the community. And back in the day, I think it kind of ebbs and flows, but I think now Arizona just has this amazing community, but
I agree.
it's a very safe space.
Yes.
I feel like it's just a really good community. So I think that's why I at least got into it was because I felt like it was almost like a family. Like you get to know the brewers, you
Yeah.
get to know the people at the bar, and you just feel comfortable. And it's like I feel like we finally have that in Arizona, where it reminds me of going to San Diego, and you could just basically just bar hop everywhere. Here
Yeah.
we've got our own little brewery tour, like
Yeah.
in this area alone. So I don't know. I'm
It's really cool.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's not to segue too deep, but that's what Tomadachi was about. Was we do a small festival, 300 people, 14 breweries, and the idea is chill. Just you can
Right.
talk to people. You don't got a line of 40 at one tent, and now you got to
Right.
just rush them through.
Yeah.
You know, I would say that this, you know, I have so many friends who are brewery owners that this is the only festival they do because it's low key. They know what it's about. It's not about us. It's about the people coming.
Yeah.
Right.
And then at 6 o'clock, it is about us because we all hang out in the back because we don't get to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
So the idea is like, okay, we do this. We do a really cool intimate festival, and then from 6 to 9, we pull out a grill, we drink some beers, shoot the shit, and just remember why we got into this.
Right.
That's something that you definitely have to, because you can get caught up in a lot of the day-to-day,
Yeah.
the running a business, all the stresses, and you can forget about why you got into it to begin
Yep.
with. Yeah.
And so it's just, I love this industry. I love the people in it, and yeah, it's cool.
No, I think that's great. What so you got the Tomadachi Beer Fest this weekend, and that is sold out, and this
Yep.
is your second year doing it.
Yep.
I don't know if this episode will be up before the weekend, but hopefully, we'd love to.
It went great. No,
Yeah, it was amazing. They had a truck with one noodle.
yeah, it was 5-star accommodation.
5-star. Mix it yourself.
Yep.
We'd love to pop by if you'll have us. I know you guys are sold out and stuff, but we'd love to pop by and bring our cameras and stuff and do some promo stuff and shoot some video if there's space and whatnot. So if there's room, and I got it on camera, so there's
This
pressure.
guy.
That's why timing.
No,
is
we can
everything
figure it
now.
out, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, it's all good. What have you noticed in the past couple of years as far as trends with beer?
Gen Z doesn't drink for shit.
I know
Oh my
it's
God.
concerning, isn't it?
I was just telling him there's a study that came out, and the amount of decline in drinking amongst Gen Z is insane.
Yeah.
It's like a quarter of what our generations
What is
were.
wrong with
so-
Yeah, well, yeah, because you know why? Because during COVID they couldn't drink, and so they never got a taste for it.
Right. That's funny.
We were drinking on the driveway all afternoon.
Yeah.
So, to be honest with you, that is for a brewery that's concerning, and I'll tell you, I'll tell you why. And this is when we kind of go back to the beer isn't the problem. We're not getting new beer drinkers.
Right.
So what ends up happening is we have to capitalize on people who are already there. And then we have to recognize that not everyone's a beer drinker.
Right.
So from there, you have to extrapolate, okay, so if I'm only serving beer, how many people am I missing now?
Right.
So we just started serving wine about a month ago.
That's cool.
Because what I had my bartenders do for the month of I think it was November, December, tally sheet. How many people walked in here asking if we have something other than beer? How many people came in with someone who didn't have a beer and left after one?
Right.
And those numbers were hefty.
Very telling. Yeah.
And so we're not a restaurant, so we rely on
Beer.
those taps, right? That's what's going to be the downfall is the inability to be able to acquire a new liquor license because they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And if Gen Z doesn't start drinking in fields like we did in high school, I don't I don't know. But that'll be the nail is the trends of people drinking.
I mean, and we've had kind of the same issue on the home brewing side because that's the younger generation
God.
isn't brewing, and so people as a hobby, we're kind of aging out.
Yep.
You know, they don't want to do the big batches anymore, or have all the big equipment, or go do any of that, and so
The amount of people I see selling their equipment also breaks my heart too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like you
That are
don't
getting
gotta
out of the
sell.
hobby.
Just do it. You can brew once a year and still
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
still fun. Shut up. Like, it doesn't have to be a thing. I also think that I think awards also kind of have ruined some of the hobby. Not to an extreme degree, but I feel like at a certain point, like people think they have to start like having everyone judge their stuff. Whether it's a homebrew, and it can be fun. Like, no, I'm not going to take anything away
Oh,
from
no,
that.
no.
But there's a sense of, I've lost the last 10 homebrew competitions. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, do you enjoy it? Like, do you enjoy the beer
That's
you
why
make?
You're
well,
kind
then
of
who
missing out on the
cares?
point.
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
Yeah.
you know, all these people are winning goals. I haven't won anything. Well, then you're not doing it right.
It's the
For
wrong
right
reason.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're at home and you crack a beer and you're sitting on your patio and you're enjoying it,
That's important.
that's it.
That's what matters.
We won.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we do here. Like we stopped submitting to GABF, not because we're sore losers or whatever. It's like I have a bar full of people drinking Forager. There's my gold.
Right.
There's my win.
Right.
Right.
And that's all I need. And it's expensive to submit to GABF. So it's like I don't want to spend $120 and find out I didn't even make it to the second table.
Yeah.
Well, and you've added wine to your repertoire. I mean, you've got sours now to kind of expand
Yep.
things. Have you wandered into the seltzer thing yet, or
So we have wandered in the seltzer, and we've made seltzers before. I find, sorry, I'm gonna take these off. They're reflecting. I find that it's twofold. I can sell just as many White Claws as I can on tap. The difference is that I can switch my White Claw flavors out every week if I want to.
right?
There still is a fermentation process for seltzers,
Mhm.
so I now take up an entire tank of water and sugar.
Yeah.
Which people who do them, and I'll be straight up honest with you, we don't do them well. It sounds silly, like, oh, it's just water, sugar, yeast.
That's
Oh,
tough to
No,
do.
it's a whole thing.
There's no room for error.
Yeah,
there's
no room for.
filtration.
I would rather buy a
mean,
seltzer from Richter than make one.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like, if I'm being
Oh,
honest with you,
geez,
Yeah.
Brandon's seltzers are
are
ridiculous.
fantastic.
Oh
They're
my
fantastic. So why, like, if someone's doing something better than me, I'll just get, like, I could just get yours.
God. Yeah.
Like, like,
Well,
you know,
you're not tying up a tank.
Do
You're
what
not.
you do.
yeah.
Do
Yeah.
it well, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and so for us, it's like I can putter around and hope that the seltzer comes out. So one of the things that happens with seltzers is that because there's not a lot of nutrients or elements in the water you're cooking, the yeast works really hard. When yeast works really
They're
hard,
stressed.
it
They
smells.
express
Oh.
off flavors and sulfur and
and so some seltzers
Yeah.
you have, it smells like someone farted in your glass.
Uh-oh.
health
No.
fart.
Without the glitter.
Yeah.
He's going to
Without the glitter.
murder me after this podcast, but I mean, it was actually one of the most difficult things I think you've tried to make because it was a sulfur
Wait,
bomb.
you tried to
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
a sulfur bomb. It was a cloudy sulfur bomb.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the yeast to drop out.
So that's what's hilarious to me when people are like, "Oh, seltzers are easy." I'm like, if you tell me a seltzer's easy, I can tell you right now I don't want to drink yours.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
that's the truth.
'Cause
Yeah.
you didn't perfect it.
Well, because if you tell me seltzers are easy, it's because you do water, sugar, yeast.
Right.
You don't do anything else.
Right.
Right.
Like, and I can tell you right now, it's
more to that.
way more than that.
Yes.
So much so, Brandon Richter is one of my best friends. The man has eaten dinner at my house many a times.
He won't tell you.
He won't tell me
He
shit.
won't tell us either. So yeah.
Which I got to respect. Because once in a while he'll ask me questions and I'll be like, seltzer? He's like, okay, I get it. One time we were at a party and it was my birthday and I was handing him beers. Kept handing him beers. I said, I think you're 2 beers away from telling me you're seltzer. And I got it and I go, seltzer? He's like, no. I'm like,
Damn it.
there's
So
an
close.
episode of How I Met Your Mother where they get Barney really drunk. He has these stages of
Yes.
drunkenness where one of the stages he finally tells the truth.
Yeah.
And then the last one he turns into like, what's his name? I forget. Whatever. But that was what I was hoping I could get with Brandon, that if I
That's
got him drunk
hilarious.
enough, maybe there's
Tell the truth.
The truth link.
He would divulge. Yeah.
These are divulging.
But it was a very narrow lane.
It's a
sounds
very
like.
narrow lane.
Yeah, oh, man.
One day.
No, because well, he's worked hard and he started doing seltzers from our conversation with him like well before
Yeah.
the craft brewers really started doing it. He's
Well, they
like,
mocked
let me
him for
give
it.
a go. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh yeah, I hate money too. What the hell? Like why you? Like it goes back to that whole thing. Like there's those purists. Like which is funny that I say that because he's an asshole when it comes to things that aren't clear.
Right?
So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
mocks my hazies all the time, and one time he made a hazy and the haze fell out. I go, oh, I guess it's not that easy. I go, sounds like making clear beer is a little. I guess clear beer just happens. I guess you got to keep hazies hazy. But no, and that's the thing that's so cool about Arizona beer. We all have our lanes and specialties. You go to Pedal House, give me a lager from Pedal House any day of the week. Doc is, what the hell? What the hell is
Yeah.
that man doing over there? He's
Yeah.
doing great stuff, you know. You go to Lake Pleasant. Give me a German beer from
Oh
Lake
my
Pleasant.
God, their
Oh,
German
yeah.
beers are
Yeah.
Out of
absolutely
control,
ridiculous.
You know, like
so good.
And so there's a and that's when we talk about the there's a space for everybody.
Yes.
There's a space for everybody,
Right.
you know. So
You guys all have your cool uniqueness.
yeah.
And no one, I feel like, is doing the same thing
Yeah,
as someone else.
I make stupid sours. like we have a sour apple sour on right now. We have, you know, the dirty snowflake. Like my whole thing is what can we do that will surprise you?
Right.
Like, and sometimes even myself.
Well, depending on how it comes out. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This stout was really good.
Oh, thank you.
It was really good. I mean, they're
That's the
both
s'more
really
stout.
So you
But
two were doing
smooth.
you were doing the Forager. That
Yeah.
stout was the you're
S'mores-
killing me
you're killing me
s'mores.
s'mores.
You're killing me. That's so good.
This
man.
was the Hellas.
Yep.
Um,
Which we now do black and tans with our honey beer and you're
Really?
killing me s'mores. Stupid.
Yeah.
you buried the lead.
I sorry, yeah, I did. I was gonna make one, and then we had an employee party at my house on Monday, and I brought our little black and tan maker there, and I forgot it, and so I was like, I should make one for this, and I was like, I didn't bring it because it looks really cool on camera.
Well, you can try, and if it messes up, I'll drink it, and you make another one.
Done. I love that.
Well,
idea.
practice makes
Yeah, we'll-
perfect.
Here,
That's
take,
important.
take one for the team.
That's
guys.
right. Actually,
I sacrifice.
Tiana, can I borrow you? You know how to make a black and tan with a knife, don't you?
With a knife?
Yeah. Can you make one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have one as well, sir?
Can you make 3?
With a s'more stout?
S'more stout and mana. You're the rock.
Girls say, picked up now.
Oh, real quick
I like
with
that
the.
shirt. That shirt's hilarious.
I love it.
What
Yeah.
shirt do you have on? Oh, Friends. Yeah, we did over the summer because summers are slow. Every month we had an event where we released 4 beers, and then we had an event based around those 4 beers. So that was our Friends event. We had Friends trivia, and I released 4 Friends inspired sours.
Oh, I love it.
We did a Harry Potter one. The rock paper scissors was part of that one.
Yeah.
And then we start in May for Star Wars. So we do May the
May the
4th.
4th.
So Star Wars, obviously, we have Bantha Milk.
Yes.
Bantha Milk and This Is the Way
Yeah.
are our 2 big ones because those ones are fantastic. And then the other ones, I usually do a Jedi one and a Sith one.
That sounds awesome.
And then we do Star Wars trivia, which is so fun.
Oh my
Didn't
God.
Bring my friends over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we might have
Well,
to come
people,
for that.
I mean, people were dressed up. Like, it was such a blast. Like, it was so much fun. And then we did a costume contest, like who wore the best costume. And
That's
this
so
guy had
cool.
a head-to-toe Boba Fett costume. I was here for it. It was so
Oh.
awesome.
Oh my gosh. How do you come up with the names and things for the beers? I mean, do you take inspiration from anything? Is there a specific person you go to here, or is
it's
it
JJ. So
JJ.
JJ and I, the two. You know how I told you why I did the rock paper scissors thing? Do you remember what I said?
just because you thought it was fun?
That's funny because I thought it was funny.
Funny.
That's what we do.
Okay.
It's literally like, so for example, the Goldwater beer is called Yo-Yo Tricks. That name came from, we were talking about the weird things that your elementary school would bring in to make you sell or buy. And we all were talking about, do you guys remember when that yo-yo guy came to your school and tried to sell yo-yos? We're like, and then we started talking about how, like, my parents wouldn't buy me, like, the most expensive, the Bumblebee, the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Chad was talking about how he had to do chores. Oh, no, he had to learn 6 yo-yo tricks before he could get one. And he said, I had to learn 6 yo-yo tricks before I could get the yo-yo. I go, that's the name. That's funny. I go, and then we wanted to do the next one about pogs. So, like,
That's funny.
so Post Limon, that's just funny. Like,
Yes.
it literally,
Yeah.
you know, we have a beer called Ramen and OJ. Which is based off of the song. There's a song called Ramen and OJ.
Yeah.
And it literally happened because JJ was back here listening to Ramen and OJ while he was brewing, and that beer looks like orange juice. And he's like, we're calling it Ramen and OJ. And I was like, no duh. Like, it was awesome. It was, and so
He ran away.
he did.
He got
He was
shy.
right. I thought he was going to come in on the mic. But it literally is. I can't think of a beer that we had the name of it before we brewed it. And I'm not here for you.
That's poor planning.
That is poor planning. It's the poorest of plannings. Because you want to know who hates it the most? Our graphic designer. He does not like that. I'm like, hey, Aaron, I need a label in like a week and a half. I go, hey, you busy? No, not really. perfect. Damn it, Tyler, what do you need? There was a time where we tried getting ahead of a lot of stuff, and it just wasn't as fun.
Yeah.
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 Eventually, we'll have
Well,
to be more dialed in,
And
but
sometimes
right now it's good.
The inspiration for the name can come from how the beer turns out, and
Sure.
that doesn't always happen, obviously.
Right.
And from a homebrew standpoint, that's a little easier because you're not having a graphic artist.
Sure. I will.
To
I
design the
lied to you.
labels.
You're Killing Me S'mores was named before we made it because we
Okay.
knew we were making a s'more stout,
Right.
and that was JJ had that idea that he wanted to do You're Killing Me
I
S'mores.
love that movie, by the way.
It's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
But not much more than that.
I
Maybe
was-
Bantha Milk, but even then I had like 4 different names for it, and I landed on Bantha Milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
I love it. I mean, and the naming of the beers is definitely something that I think is very, craft beer, where they come up with the names and
Yeah.
and a lot of them are funny, and some of them, there's different inspiration for it. Some are,
Sorry.
oh, you're good. Some are, based on kind of the theme of the brewery, whether it's the video games like 8-Bit Brewing or,
When did you get the video games? I think that's so cool.
When we first opened, I had the Super Nintendo Minis,
Yeah.
so I had 2 of those, and so that was. So there's a game on there called Mario RPG.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. I brought it because during brewing, when we were in the beginning, when you first open, there's not a lot to do during brew days. Like
right.
usually, like for example, today, Tiana was pulling kegs, JJ's brewing. There's things to do like while you're boiling. But when you're first opening, that hour and a half boil, nothing.
Yeah.
I brought it in to play video games while we boiled wort.
Yeah.
And then I dug it and we left it, and then people liked it.
Yeah.
So we got 3 more.
Yeah.
And
And they're
so-
set up on the table.
Yeah, they're set up on the tables, and you
Yeah.
can just play and hang out. And we are a family. I asked that your kids aren't climbing on the tables running around, but why would they run around if they have games to play,
Right.
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So like whenever I hear people like, "Oh, kids in a brewery, that's so annoying." Well, it's only annoying because you have nothing for them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like that reminds me of Asian bars too, because there's a lot of like PC cafes and stuff like
Yes.
that. So it kind of like reminds me of going to a cafe and having a beer and playing games.
Sorry, I don't mean to
Oh
interrupt
no,
you.
you're good.
Oh yeah. No.
Beautiful.
She
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So the knife came out of necessity because we couldn't find a
Because
spoon.
Someone took the kid home.
Well, no, this is before we got the kit.
Oh.
We before we got the kit, we're like, "Oh, you use a spoon." Well, we're not a restaurant, right? So we didn't have spoons, but we have cut fruit up before. So Maddie and Tiana were like, "I think we can do it with a knife." And I was like, "Bullshit!" And then look at it. It's
Wow.
perfect.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Now, what's for the You're Killing Me S'mores? Is there because I haven't had it before, so
The stout.
The stout, is it? Do you have any chocolate in there, or what do you?
Chocolate,
adjuncts?
marshmallow.
You're good. You're good.
Get out of the frame.
Thank you very much.
There's no peanut butter in it,
Oh
right?
shit! I'm sorry.
You're good.
Can you have a towel?
Is there any peanut butter?
No, there's no peanut butter
Okay,
in this.
good.
No, it kills your head
Oh, no,
retention.
it's him. Not
Yeah,
me.
there'd be too much oil.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Thank you.
so you're
Even the
Bill Bryan.
people who use peanut butter don't. They usually use like powdered peanut
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
matter?
No, it's more for.
For me.
Oh, does
Yeah.
powdered peanut butter? Can you do that or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No nuts.
Oh, I
Cheers,
want one now
thank
too.
you.
I want 4. There's certain things that don't.
Cheers.
I will give you the grain bill of anything I make. Will I
Right.
give you the water profile of everything I make? No. Will I give you every adjunct I make? No. Because sometimes it's like,
That is so good.
it just, I don't know. Some things you gotta keep to the chest.
Yes.
Like I would never ask Jason for the church music recipe, right?
Right,
right, yeah.
I'd ask Richter for the seltzer. That's different. But some things are just like, hey, this is something I think we do differently than everyone else, so we'll kind of keep that a little close to the chest.
Yeah. Oh no, that totally makes sense. All right, so this is the You're Killing Me S'mores on top, and what's the beer on the bottom?
Manna from Heaven or Honey Ale.
The honey ale.
This is
Okay,
so
that's
good.
really
It's
good.
unreal.
So
Yeah.
good.
How did you figure out that you could do that?
I was drinking one night. And
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
thank you, Tiana.
One night.
And I am so opposed to mixing beers. That's my purist in me.
Okay.
Like people would mix like our sours and our IPAs and stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate it. I was like, okay, you're giving me money, so I'm gonna allow it.
Yeah.
And then one day we were talking about ciders. We were going to do ciders. And when we talked about cider, someone goes, "Oh, we could do black and tans with a cider and s'mores." And I was like, "Well, let's see what that looks like." And I was like, "All right, let's find what's our sweetest beer we have right now." I was like, "Oh, it's Manna from Heaven. It's our honey ale.
Yeah.
Let's try it with the honey ale and s'more stout." And we did it. And I was like, "Guys,
It's really good.
we do not need cider."
Yeah, no.
And then I was like, "Now do it with." I go now, and so now I also do it with our strawberry IPA. So I do a black and tan with our strawberry. It tastes like a chocolate covered strawberry.
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
So the beer we did with Lake Pleasant, and so I'm like, we can black and tan fucking everything.
Anything.
I'm like, let's go. So the Manna from Heaven's almost out, but we have Agave Blonde dropping next week. So that will now black and tan with Agave Blonde because it's a little sweeter
That's
beer.
really
So
cool.
That is a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I would never have thought to do any other beers other than, Guinness and Harper, just for a black and tan. Like, I wouldn't think to do.
Yeah, so it came out of because
Is it?
literally because we didn't have the little puck thing.
Yeah.
And we wanted to see if Maddie could make it with whatever we had available.
Yeah.
And when it went so well, I was like, I'm gonna order some pucks.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Well, just in time for St. Patrick's
Yes,
Day, too.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
And St. Patrick's Day we'll have our Irish stout out, so we'll be able to do it with that. So it'll be awesome.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm a chatty Cathy. I apologize.
No, this is great. This is why we like to do the podcast, because our other side of what we do for Brandon Brewing is very technical. We do a lot of home brew. We do all kinds of stuff. So we always envision as you get done with a brew day and you're just sitting and talking shit.
Yeah. No, people think we're silly.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it because there was one time when we first, when I was first at the bar and I finally, there was a Saturday and I made a joke because we have all the wine and stuff like that. And we do some mixed drink stuff now too. The running joke was that all the mixed drinks we'll make will be really easy. They'll just be easy stuff. No one's going to come in and ask for an uptown turnaround. You're going to be like, what the hell is that? Did you just make that up in your car before you walked in? And so the running joke is that I call this an uptown turnaround. And so one afternoon on a Saturday, I came in and Maddie was working. I was like, uptown turnaround. And she made it. And I'm not kidding you, in an hour, 75% of the bar had these on the bar.
Wow.
I was like, oh,
That's fun.
that is fun. And
Yeah.
then and that day I posted the picture and I put it online, and it's been on there ever since now. And so it's as someone who's not a mixer,
That's a good mix.
I'm really proud of
That's
this
Yes.
one.
that's a really good
No,
mix,
you should
yeah.
be. Absolutely. Do you guys have any sort of a mug club or a membership thing for your
We do.
for your patrons?
So yeah, if you look up there, there's
the big
all their mugs
over there.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, those are some
So
big mugs.
we do 85.
Okay.
We're not a big space.
Yeah.
So the idea is everything I do, I have to look at it as what is max capacity, right? So we do mug club parties, we do these things. So it's like, okay, what does that look like if we were to fill this entire place out? We talked about 100, we talked about 150, we talked about all these things. It's like, for us, we want, I want you to feel like it's Saguaro Club.
Yeah.
Wren House has done this incredible thing with Saguaro Club. It's everyone finds value. Anyone who's in it finds value in it. The people who are in it stay in it, and then you can only get in it if someone drops out.
Right.
And I love that because it makes it feel special.
Yes.
And it makes it feel like the people who do it are the ones who probably frequent Wren House the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of Saguaro Society members, and they all drink the beers they get. They're not reselling them. They're not doing this thing. They really are. They're Wren House faithful fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for us, we're 2 years in, right? And we've created a really beautiful following. Our regulars are some of the best in the world. I'm sure everyone says that, but it's like your kids. I love my children. They're the greatest. Yeah, well, so are mine. But for us, it was one of those things where it's like, let's keep it limited.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually took a page out of Wren House's book. Now going forward, it's 85, and we only open up if you drop out.
Right.
And when we told our customers that, the ones that were joining, it made them feel
Special.
special. It made
right?
them feel like
Yeah.
we know you, we hear you, we care about you. And the numbers that they have, so every glass is numbered, the number that they have, that's their number for as long as they're part of the group.
Yeah.
You drop out, that's the number that gets put up.
Yeah.
So you're 65. The person who comes in will be 65.
Yeah.
So
when you have people to drop out, do you do it on anniversary as far as opening it back up?
we do it a
or-
month before anniversary for renewals.
Okay.
And then the week of anniversary is for new people.
Is open season.
Is open season.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pending.
What
Yeah.
is it? What's the cost for the mug club, and what do they get?
It's $150.
Okay.
They get the mug.
Yes.
They get happy hour all the time. They get 15% off all merch and to go.
Mhm.
They get the mug club party, and then they get discounts throughout the year. So like they got discounts on Tomadachi. They get just different things.
Nice.
They also get to pre-order so when we do our barrel aged release, our only releases, they can pre-order that online. If we have like bantha milk or something special coming out, they can buy it a day before. So just little things like that.
Is there a wait list to get on it? And do you once you have people drop off, how do you determine who gets in?
So first come, first serve.
It is.
So like you drop off, we have a block date. You have this time to renew.
Yeah.
I will go online and I'll put I have 15 left, and I'll say I'll be opening it up at 7 a.m. on Friday, and then
First come, first serve.
first come, first serve, and at 15 it'll say sell out.
So
on the
you
website.
don't have to manage a wait list or worry about that. It's first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
Wow.
we're not that.
Do you have people camping out when you have the openings? Like
No, we
No?
do it all online.
Oh,
that's
nice.
safer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
way easier.
Easier.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
stay home.
Yeah.
don't wait in line.
Get tents
I know.
outside.
Yeah.
I know it's a little too soon to talk about, but for your anniversary is coming in October.
October, yep.
It is October, and this will be year number 3 as
Year
far as being here.
3, yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Any big plans or anything? I know it's a bit
Oh, my
far out to be
goodness.
thinking about, especially because you still
Hate
have
you.
Tomadachi this weekend. Sorry.
Yeah. Good God.
It's like,
Ask me what I'm doing for my daughter's graduation.
have you picked a college yet for her?
Yes, 4 actually. No, I know. So this year's going to be a little bit different than last year. I know JJ and I are talking about it. We have a few barrel aged things that we're actually going to hold on to this year. So I don't know if we're going to do a barrel aged beer this year.
Okay.
But we are going to do some really, really cool stuff with some I want to do a triple IPA version of Forager.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
We've never done it before. And I
Yeah.
think that'd be really freaking cool. I want to do a Mexican hot chocolate stout, like a really high ABV Mexican hot chocolate stout. So what I'm excited about for year 3 is that it's going to be the year of experimental releases, I think. Things that we've never done before. Things that we know we can pull off that are going to be good, right? Right? But things we've never done before. And I think our customers are really going to dig, because not everyone is a barrel-aged beer drinker, right?
yeah.
So I think we'll bring back some stuff too. Everyone keeps wanting to bring us back. I get asked about Dirty Snowflake, the beer we were talking about earlier, at least once a month,
Right.
to bring it back. I'm
Yeah.
like, you liked that? I was so angry about that beer. Don't look at me.
Can we bring a seat in for him? He could use my mic.
Yeah. You want to join us?
Yes, he does. Grab a seat. First of all, have you ever met me? You're not taking anything from me. I'm my own man.
What are you guys doing?
They just showed up. I said the same. I go, "What are you doing here?" They're like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know, man."
Well, you're a tough man to pin down, so we figured we'd just show up.
Here's the deal. I'm gonna say something, and it's so true about me, and it's not an excuse. It makes me a shitty person. Actually, I do. I suck at my phone. I'm the worst. It doesn't make it nicer. It just makes it more real that it's not you. I have 189 unread text messages. I get texts and messaged, no joke, probably 100 times a day with people selling me stuff. People, I got called the other day, and people just boldface lying. I got a call the other day. The message was, I work for another brewery in Arizona. I had a few questions if you wouldn't mind helping me out. I call. I'm like, oh, I was like, I didn't, know that was her name. I thought it was the GM of this other brewery. I was like, I didn't know that was her name, but I'll call her back. I'm like, hey, what's up? I was like, just calling you back. And she's like, have you ever thought about, I'm like, you don't work for this brewery. She's like, no, I work with them. I'm like, I'm going to call them.
They called me yesterday. Or
You know-
it was the day before. And I wrote it down, and they said, oh, we work for the place across the street. I thought they wanted to buy a keg.
So, yeah. I was like, I thought she waned help with like scheduling or something because we had talked about it last time.
Yeah.
And I was like, you liar. And so now, what ends up happening, so that 189 will be down to like 40. Like I check them at night. So like I rarely answer during the day. There's no disrespect. There's few people that if I see it come through. So my glasses will tell me who's texting or calling.
Okay.
And so say you got a text message. If it says you have a text message with nothing next to it, I don't even open my phone.
Yeah.
If it's you got a text message from Brandon Richter, I'll pull it out. But the bad part about that is I also have ADHD. So so it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, well, I'm not going to text you at 10. I'll text you tomorrow.
Except me.
No, I won't. Yeah, I'll text you at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not an excuse. It's an explanation. But I promise, if I've responded to you at least twice, it means that I will at least respond. I hate telephones. I miss the days of like the flip phone.
Yeah.
I want people to call. Like, call me. Not weirdly, but like but like I'm such a better phone call person
Yes.
than I am a texting person.
Yeah.
Because I run our social media, I run our Facebook page, or I'm responding to messages so often. It's like if you need me, call me, no matter where you
There's your theme song.
It is now.
Yeah.
And I always say, people are like, well, I don't want to bother you. I'm like, if you have my number, bother me. Like, you've earned that. Except you.
I was thinking, nobody calls me but my mom and you.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a text message.
Yeah, I go, what are you doing? Nothing. Well, that was it. I'll talk to you later.
I was
B.
like, I'm the only one he knows that's awake past 10:30.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Everyone else
He's
is
like, what are you
fast.
doing? I'm like, I'm laying in bed. What do you think I'm doing?
I don't know. Hanging out.
Yeah. They cracked me. Is April there? Where else would she be?
I don't know. You want to press play at the same time so it feels like we're watching a movie together?
Yeah, he goes, put it on speakerphone.
Yeah.
This is not like the entertain you in the middle of the night hour.
It could be.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, it is. And don't act like you're upset about it.
I'm not. But you're also the only one I'll answer the phone after 10 o'clock anyway.
Respect.
Yeah.
Sorry. I love this man so
I know.
much. I love him so
When we
much.
sat down with you, we had so much fun at that
I did
episode.
too. It was
That
fun.
whole thing
I knew you
that
guys
was
would
a
have fun with him
blast.
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, never short on words.
I'm done talking for the day.
He's not sensitive at all. He's,
Nope,
yeah,
not at
no,
all.
not at
Nope.
all. No, this has been really good.
You guys can shut the mics off. We'll just sit. We'll take over.
I cleared my schedule for you.
Oh.
No, he's brewing.
Yeah. He probably wants to
Literally,
back
the only thing that we would do is after he'd brewed, we'd go eat.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I'm waiting for him to be done, because that's my day.
Yeah.
I know. When's Fatso's?
I love where your head's at.
Yeah.
He hates Fatso's. He doesn't hate Fatso's.
No, I don't
He hates
say
that we
that.
go there every time.
Okay, there you
there
go.
it is.
Yeah, there you go.
He doesn't
Thank
hate
you. I
Fatso's.
don't-
Fatso's is great. We love you
It's
guys.
like, where are we going? Fatso's. Where are we going? Fatso's. It's been like 4 weeks. Dude, I don't need pizza again. We just had it every day for 4 weeks.
Then get wings
Well, the last time, where'd we go?
or a
We
sandwich.
went to Mellow Mushroom and had pizza and wings again.
It was right.
Yeah,
It was so good.
but the beer's better.
Then what? Forager's about to be
Fatso.
on a Fatso. Yeah, the beer is better at Fatso's.
Yeah, we had Hop Slam.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't. You left.
I always leave.
Yep.
I have 2 kids.
You had another
and they're
brewery you had to
little.
go to?
I stopped by Lake Pleasant.
He's like, I got a text message. I got to go.
People are. Someone's always expecting me somewhere.
Yeah.
I was telling them how I pop up everywhere. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
we.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's serious or not.
I am.
He's
serious.
like, where are you? I'm at home. Well, I'm at your place. No, you're not. And I don't know if he really is or not.
I am.
He usually is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually there.
And I'm like, man, it's my day off.
Yeah. come hang out with me. It's my day off too. Let's go.
It is literally the Tyler drinking game. Like,
Yeah,
there he
yeah,
is.
there he
Yeah,
is.
I told him about that.
Yeah.
Where's Tyler?
So
The
we
next thing is going to be like newscast. All of a sudden, I'm just popping up in the corner of newscast and just coming down.
we tried to get him to show up at mine, but no, he was too busy and important.
No, that I had a brew.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm not doing this with you. JJ, bless himself and bless his wife, had a deviated septum and he had surgery, so he was out for December.
Oh wow.
And I was brewing, so I couldn't come. But
Okay.
I would have left it on boil and drove over there.
You
and drove
should
back.
have. No, that's bad news.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I live on the wild side.
Yeah.
I would never do that, OSHA. Just to be clear, in case OSHA's watching.
Yeah.
I know you have a big OSHA following.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
That and PETA.
Yeah. Make sure you don't have your brewer Crocs back there then.
They're tactical Crocs. You know that. And you know I'm sensitive.
They're just ugly. Just accept it.
Okay. This is why he's not welcome.
Says the guy who used to wear Nike wearing fucking Crocs.
Okay. First of all, he's right. Moving on. Food trucks. I looked at your.
You want to talk about food trucks?
Yeah.
We can talk about food trucks. We talked about food trucks with you.
Mm-hmm.
We have tremendous food trucks. The best.
We have the best food trucks.
The
Some would
best.
say the best. I wouldn't say that, but some would.
No, I think. All joking aside, but I am going to talk about food trucks real quick. I think that is also one of the brewery superpowers we have, is being able to bring in food trucks and being able to have that different stuff all the time.
I think the
which is my
symbiotic,
fear.
the symbiotic relationship with the brew trucks, I think, is interesting and very unique when it comes to craft beer.
It is, and I worry sometimes about the restaurant because of that. Because sometimes we'll have the same food truck every week,
Yeah.
and then we'll have people be like, "Oh, you have the same food truck this week." I'm like, when we open a restaurant, it's going to be the same food every day. Like, are you not going to come? I'm not saying you got to come every day, but like, we're building to have one food.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I always think like that when someone says, "Oh, the same one." I'm like, yeah, because they show up and they serve great food.
Yes.
You know, and that's cool. But
Well, and that's one of the challenges of the food trucks too. That sometimes it can be hit or miss, and
It
when
can.
when you find some reliable ones that do right by you, and they're always there,
Yes.
and the people like it, like you want to continue to have them back because it's less of a headache for you,
it is.
and your customers like it.
I was going to say loyalty. It's not loyalty, but you're right. It's. I know there are certain food trucks out there that I know that when they say they're going to be there at the time they're going to be there, they always show up.
Right.
Always.
Versus telling you I got a flat tire, and they really have another gig they're working somewhere
I have to-
else.
okay, I'm not
that's
gonna
where the
s-
loyalty comes
I'm not
in.
going to say who. We have a flat tire. They sent me a photo. I reverse image searched it.
Oh no.
It's the first image on all of them. Then I called another brewery owner and I was like, these guys can't say they have a flat tire. And I sent him a screenshot of it. He sends me a screenshot from his phone. Same flat tire that they had sent him like a month ago. I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm all about, we talked about earlier. You got to make money for your family. I get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Give me a heads up. Give me 24 hours. Give me 12 hours. Don't make me call you when you're supposed to be here at 3
Right.
and tell me you have a flat tire when that picture you just sent was the same picture you
Well,
sent
even
in.
if it's a flat tire, your phone still works.
Right.
So, like, you could still call and say, "Listen, I'm running late, or I can't make it," or just
That was too
There's
funny.
a reason food trucks come and go.
yeah.
When he sent me that, I was laughing so hard. I was like,
You
he goes,
reverse
he goes,
image
he goes,
searched
that's
it.
crazy. This is the same flat tire they had.
Yeah.
I go, oh no.
So basically, then when you open your restaurant, are you like obviously is that the end of the food truck, or are you still?
That'll be the end of the food truck. That'll be the end of the food truck days once the restaurant's open. When I can control the whole experience, I want to be able to. I want to do that.
Well, sure.
So we have times. Excuse me. Sorry. We have times where things happen in a kitchen, right? You know, nothing against anybody. When stuff always happens, things can take long. Things can be overcooked, undercooked, yada yada yada. The worst part about it is, no matter what food truck I have, if those things happen, it's my fault.
Sure.
So I'm already they don't show up, it's my fault. I'm already taking the
You're
grunt.
already on the hook for
Yeah,
it.
we've been yelped for bad food from a food truck. I didn't make it.
Right? So I would rather you yelp me for my bad than yelping me for something I have no
control over.
And so as soon as I can control the entire narrative, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
However, there are several food trucks that we use. I'm gonna one of them is our Thursday night food truck, Just the Tip. Shout out Just the Tip.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
When we open the ramen restaurant, hell yes, I will partner with them to do like a tri-tip ramen one night or something like that. We still want I'm not going to have them parked out front every week, but I still want to use these relationships that I've had in a different capacity.
Yeah.
We have amazing taco and Mexican food trucks. Vaco Taco is who stands out to me. I would love, we make our noodles from scratch. I would love to make, a birria ramen, an official birria ramen at Kitsune Ramen House, maybe once a quarter, whatever it is. So depending, on how things work out, will they be there every day? No. Do I still want to make sure that we're
They're still
partners
gonna
and
be
we're
in the
still doing
picture.
cool stuff?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, because they were here when no one else was, right? So
Right.
they were the ones helping us when we needed them. So I want to make sure that
That continues.
I can continue to an
Absolutely.
extent.
Yeah.
And everyone I've brought that up to has been 100% on board, which
That's
has been super
fantastic.
cool.
And I don't think anyone's doing that kind of a thing either with the food trucks.
I don't know. Yeah.
As far as collaborating like that with the food, because normally when you have a restaurant, you don't have the food truck. So
Right.
that's kind of a very unique opportunity.
I think it'd be neat.
What you have, yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't put glitter in it. You'll be fine.
Glitter in everything.
You've never used it?
Oh, yeah. I can use it once a year. You know the rule. JJ yells at me. So real quick, I put glitter in one of our Harry Potter beers, the Patronus beer. Right? I mean, Patronus.
Naturally.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him, until I was doing it. And he's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's Patronus. It's sparkling." He's like, he was counting the days. He's like, "You did one, 8 months ago." I said, "It's year by year. So we're in 2024.
Yeah.
So I did one. I did one in 2023. I go, I won't do one for the rest of 2024. I go, it's not a rolling. It's
Yeah, it's not a rolling
year.
12 months.
Yeah, come
it's
on.
once per year.
you can't just make up new rules. If I wanted to do one on the 31st and the 1st, I can. Those are the rules. Once a year.
Once a year. That was the agreement. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we appreciate you letting us come in.
Of course. I appreciate
Invade
you
your
guys coming
space.
by.
And no, absolutely. This has actually been that sounds surprising. This has actually been a lot of fun. That's something you would say.
Backhanded compliment.
Yeah, she does that. Yeah.
That's what I say. What's going on this weekend?
I think there is a fair down at the state fair.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
I can't wait to go.
He's such an asshole.
I'm pretty sure it's the Tomadachi Beer Fest. This
He's
weekend.
not. He's
yeah.
uninvited.
Oh.
Actually, no, he's not, because he'd be like, "Thank God." I can't even pretend.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's happy to be there. No, we already decided this probably won't go out before Tomadachi. So Tomadachi went great. Brandon won Brewery of the Year.
I might get it done for it.
Oh,
I might
maybe.
post it on Friday.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Well, I mean, with this producing, there's nothing much to do. You
I
just
don't
need
have to do much
upload
of
it.
anything.
I was
just-
impressed how quickly you guys got it done
I
last
just
time.
have to look pretty on camera.
I listened to it on my way home from Disneyland.
Yeah. I remember you texted me. I was like,
I was
I
delighted.
answered your text.
I remember that.
How many churros did you eat?
Literally, honestly, as soon as I get through the gate, I go find a churro. one.
Amen.
And I have probably on average 2 to 3 a day.
Those are rookie numbers.
They're expensive numbers.
What are they now?
God, I don't remember what they are because now they have like the regular ones and then they have like the specialty ones.
I don't need specialty.
I can
I don't
look at
want.
the
I don't
receipt.
want my churros
But
stuff
I think
with
they're
anything.
still like $7-8 at least.
Okay, those prices went up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they have
I'm
like
getting churros for $4 back in the
not
day.
anymore. Nope,
Right?
not anymore.
Give me 6 churros all day.
Dude, I was still upset about. I was like, you gotta go to Star Wars. You gotta go to the cantina.
Yeah.
$17.50 for a fucking beer.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
$17.50.
What beer?
I don't remember. They have I think a couple local breweries make a couple beers for them, and I forgot what they call them. I don't remember. And then I think they maybe had like a few others. I can't remember what they were.
The Luke Lager.
No,
I want 2 of those.
that's not one of what it was. I forgot what they call them. I won't say they're nothing special, but they were just like, all right, cool. It's part of the experience. So I text my buddy. He's a travel guy, and I go $17.50 for because he made me send a picture. I think $17.50, most expensive beer I've ever paid for. He's like, just look at it this way. It's $7.50 for the beer and $10 for the experience. And I go, that's a good way to put it. I'm cool with that.
I could drink a beer in a bathroom. I don't need an experience.
Yeah, don't lie like you've never done that
That
either.
itself sounds like an experience.
It does. It is. I'll tell you this. The most expensive beer I had, this isn't shade, Footprint Center. I got a tall boy church music, and it was like $19.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
a tall boy. This was a 12 or 16 ounce beer.
I take it back.
Tall boy.
That's not good pricing.
Yeah, because I just went to spring training yesterday, and it was again. Yeah, it's I think with 2 beers and tip and everything, it was $20. It was $40 for 2 beers, and it was like the Chronic. And I'm like,
Wait, what was it?
well, not the Chronic, but Chronic from what is it? Lost.
I was
Pizza
like,
Sport.
spring
Yeah.
training got really cool
No.
real quick.
It's probably coming.
Dude, $20.
I was gonna say it's actually not a bad price.
I'm like,
Yeah,
high
good
school,
pricing,
those are high school prices. What are we doing?
It's coming.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, this was awesome. Sorry it took so long. I suck as a human, but we figured it out.
No.
And we love him anyway.
Getting stuff scheduled, and no, it's all good.
It's my smile.
He's been practicing all
No,
morning.
it's
He's in high
hilarious.
demand.
I think people excuse me because I make them laugh, and I will ride that until I can't anymore.
Well, no, and we appreciate you, Brandon, because you like kind of were like Tyler will be good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
You
we
kinda
appreciate the
confirmed.
plug for sure.
I always intended on doing it, and he was like,
Quit being a
fucking
bitch.
call him back. I was like, all right. And I think I texted you, I was like, hey, it's Tyler. Brandon told me to reach out.
Friends gonna reach out. What you doing right now?
I'm like, yeah. I
You
love,
awake?
because I do really enjoy doing these because
Yes.
because there's nothing I love more than talking about Arizona beer.
And
There's
himself.
nothing. Fuck off. I am pretty amazing. No,
Humble too.
but Arizona beer is so cool and unique to me.
Yes.
Than any of because we are Phoenix is on the grand scale of the United States. Phoenix is a large market place.
Yes.
But we're not a large market beer place, which is flabbergasting to me.
Yeah.
So to be able to talk about beer and to talk about the cool stuff everyone's doing is just, it brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
It's so neat. And if what I hope people start doing, and once again, this is one of the reasons Tomadachi I think is so cool, is you don't always have to go to the place you always go.
Mm-mm.
You know, I had a group of folk. We have people who've gone to Richter's,
Yeah.
who maybe had seen him here or at Tomadachi. I got a call from the cats over at Cider Core. A week after Tomadachi, a group of people that went to Tomadachi had never been to Cider Core before, went to Cider Core the next weekend. He calls me up. He's like, that alone was worth us doing the festival. I was like, that's why we do it.
That's
like,
very
That's
cool.
so cool. Like,
Yeah.
the one thing I realized about Arizona people, 20 minutes is far for them.
That's true.
You know, when we live in Portland, 40 minutes anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I live in Cave Creek. My mom lives up the street. When we first moved there, she's like, you guys live so far. I go, Ma, it's 15 minutes. Like, because everything else was in her circle, you know?
Yeah.
And so get in your car, guys. Drive. Go to these places. Now more than ever, they need your support. You know, if everyone's going to everyone else's places, I'm okay. You know, I'm okay anyway. But like, I mean, with my customers going to other places. But
absolutely.
if Brandon's customers are coming here and mine are going there, that's a win for everybody. Like, get out there and try
other breweries.
Try the breweries.
Absolutely.
Try other breweries. Because I don't think you're going to be disappointed. People are doing some amazing stuff.
Well, especially because you can't get the same beers at every brewery. Everybody
can't.
does something different, and you know
Yeah.
we talked about your seltzers and things, and how you've innovated a lot and it's
Now
just a
you
different
won't
way
tell
to
me.
draw stuff in, and how he tried to get you in that nice fine line of
No, I
truth
showed
telling.
up at the door. So side story. We have a mutual friend. He lives right by the brewery. He has parties over here. So we go to the door, and he answered the fucking door, and he goes, "Okay, I have a question to ask you." And I go, "What?" And he's like, "You can't answer it until you've had at least 4 beers."
Told you.
I'm like, what? I go, "Dude, I've been doing this too long. So it take way more than 4 beers to make me tell you anything."
Yeah, yeah,
He tried.
yeah.
I did.
I've helped him a little bit. I've told him a few things here and there.
No,
but
yeah. And I said that. I told the same story. I was like, I can't believe like, how you feeling? But that's the thing that's, you know, you're right. Everyone's doing something different. And I think it's important to acknowledge, you know, anyone who's fermenting anything, check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Cider, wine.
Well, you never know.
whatever.
You might discover something that you hadn't necessarily had
Exactly.
before, and done in a different way that maybe you haven't had before.
Right.
And so it's important to support local.
Yeah.
There's a lot of national brands. There's a lot of different things, but once that local pub, that local place that you go to is gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
And there's so much more to beer than just going to the store and getting a 6-pack. It is
Right.
a social beverage. There's stories, there's connections, and it's about the community that's around you. And so when
Yep.
you lose that, it's gone.
If a Chili's closes, there's probably one 20 minutes away.
That's
If
so
it-
far.
If a
20
Kits-
minutes?
Yeah, right. If a Kitsune closes or a Richter closes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So
On
get
that-
out there.
On that happy note,
Huzzah.
we appreciate you letting us come in. We want to come back. This
Please,
isn't
yeah.
a one and done kind of a thing.
No, for sure.
It's not going to be a once a year thing. Hopefully
Yeah.
we can come back
What are you
again
gonna
in the
talk
same
about?
calendar year.
Yeah. What?
You're gonna be so out of words.
I have never once been out of place.
You guys are so awesome. I love this. I really do. I
No,
really
the
do.
next one, we're doing it together.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna have to. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys won't get a word in.
Oh no. We'll see if we can.
Is it part of the kind of deal where like your spouses or partners just understand the bromance? 'Cause, like,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And it's a benefit if the wives like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in a bromance, in a cis-mance. I don't know what they call that, in a sister-mance. But my wife has accepted, if the phone rings at 10 o'clock and it's Brandon, I'm taking it every time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
when he comes in, like if I'm not at the bar or something, or that my boys will text me, or Mark came in yesterday, like your boyfriend's here, and I'm texting April, and I go, man, I haven't seen Mark in like 2 weeks. She
Excuse
goes,
me?
Did you guys break up? Don't be jealous.
Your boys called and said your boyfriend's there and it wasn't me.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that later.
I know. Well, I haven't seen you like in like 3 weeks at my place.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. I love you. I love you
No,
more.
but it's true. It is true. It is. But once again, that's what makes the beer industry so great. I was never doing anything with Adidas. I was never doing anything with Reebok when I worked for Nike.
Yeah.
But to have Brandon, pop in here and shoot the shit, and I mean, what other industry does that?
No.
I just
none.
wanted a beer.
None.
I respect that.
No, we appreciate you jumping on the mic too.
Yeah.
We lost JB. He grabbed his camera. He's shooting more footage. That's his.
He's like, I want to go see what JJ's
That's
doing.
his wheelhouse. So
JJ is actually doing something. So he's like,
He's smiling for the camera.
yeah.
JJ hates
Ooh,
being on
get-
the. This is my favorite part because JJ's
Glamour
so
shots.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's so uncomfortable
He was
right
already
now,
back there
and it
making
makes me so
comments like,
happy.
Well, he
wanna be
came
back
out
here.
earlier, and we were talking
I
about.
thought he was gonna come around.
Yeah.
No, he told me he was ducking from the camera.
He heard us talking. He was like, "Whoa!" And he went back around. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there he goes,
Mr.
Man, we
Handsome.
embarrassed him.
Well, yeah, JB has no fear too. So earlier he was like, "Can I shoot some video of you brewing?" And JJ's like, "It's not a good time."
No, it's not the time.
That's awesome.
Classic JJ.
All right. Well,
him.
we're gonna get out of your hair though.
Cool.
We really appreciate you letting us come by.
Of course.
This is a lot of fun. We'll definitely have to come back.
Yeah. Let me give you my cell phone number so that
So
you
you
have
can
that
ignore my
instead.
And he doesn't answer it.
No, call. Always call.
Okay. Can
And
do.
I would love for you guys to come back.
Oh, we'd love to come back. No, this was
do
a lot of
again.
fun.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one or the next time we do an episode, we'll have you both on together.
That'd be great.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be fun.
It'd be dangerous,
I
but
got
it'd be a
nothing
lot
else
of fun. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Catch you later, my friends.